Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Gwen from the Dr. Gwen International, Inc. and host of the iTunes show, the Dr. Gwen Podcast Show. Today, we're doing a recording. So you're actually seeing this 1 week after we did the recording. And I just want to be very transparent about that. Not that it really matters because the content is going to be really, really great. And last week, you will remember on the broadcast, I told you I'd be having an expert on who'll be sharing her experiences in working on the Amazon platform. And I know with Amazon, we've been talking about affiliate marketing. And in that space, you can be an affiliate for other people's products. And you can also market your own products. So maybe we'll touch on a little bit of both. And so I want to introduce Akila Tompkins Robinson to you today. Welcome, Akila.
Hi, thank you for having me on, Dr. Gwen. I'm really excited to be here.
Boy, am I excited. You know, the last 3 weeks, we've been talking about side income businesses. And, you know, there's a statistic that shows that up to 80% of people in the U.S. hate their jobs. And so I think it's time that people start thinking about a different way of making income. Doesn't mean that they have to run away from the jobs that they have, but they can start building something on the side. And so I know that you have had that experience. So why don't we start off with you telling us a little bit about how you got started in working on Amazon?
Well, I got started. So my business is Online Boutique Source, and I work with online retailers. And, you know, like you said, there's plenty of ways to work with Amazon, and I've done a lot of them. And I can even share with you guys some of the newer ones that are coming up or have already started cropping up that they can get into as well. I got started with Amazon actually because of Pat Flynn, believe it or not. I know everyone's like a secret Pat Flynn fan somewhere. He had a episode on retail arbitrage, which I'm sure we'll get into a lot of detail about, but that's when you go and you find products at one price and you send them to Amazon. Like, so say, you know, your Target has a really big clearance, you find something that's at a really, really low price, and you check some apps and you send it into Amazon, and they sell it at whatever price it's going for on Amazon, and you make money. And it's one of the super simplest, at least it sounds like on the surface, super simplest ways to make money. You don't have to make products. You only have to ship them to Amazon. You don't have to ship them to people. And that's how I got started. I did that for a couple of years. And like you said, that was my side income. It was even my side income to the side income, because I had my core business and I had my 9 to 5. And then sometimes I would do retail arbitrage. I like to shop. And so that's how I got started. Then recently, like 2 years ago, I started my own business. I usually have them around. I usually just happen to have, I sell stationery. So you guys can see this is the type of thing that I ship in there, boxes of cards. So I sell sorority-specific greeting cards. And when I started selling the greeting cards, I was mailing them out all myself and doing all of the fulfillment, which gets to be a lot. And I decided, since I already had an Amazon account, I already was familiar with retail arbitrage, to then get into actually sending my own products into Amazon. A lot of people, there's a lot of different ways you can get your own products. I happen to make mine, as you can see, store them here in my office. And so I, got my UPCs and put those together and started now shipping my own products into Amazon. I also have tinkered a little bit with their new t-shirt shop. Now you can submit designs. I'm a graphic designer, which is where the greeting cards came from. It's my background. And, so I've tinkered a little bit with that. I've researched some of the handmade Amazon. So there's so many ways now to make money on Amazon. And I just, like I said, I just keep trying new ones.
Yeah. It really does sound like it. Now, you talked a little bit, and I've done some research. I haven't done that Amazon marketing. Is this the FBA that we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the methods I just talked about, I've been doing them as an FBA. The FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, meaning that Amazon charges you some nominal amount. It's really not a lot. And you ship to them and they ship out to the person.
Okay.
One of the advantages of doing that is that you're into their Prime network. So when people have Prime, your products are going to show up as a Prime product, and they can get Prime, shipping, free shipping, and everything.
Got
The
it.
other option, so you don't have to, especially if you're for arbitrage and for your own products, you don't have to do fulfilled by Amazon. You could actually do merchant fulfilled. And some merchants, if you're really that good, if you can get it there in 2 days, you can do merchant fulfilled and apply for Prime. But again, that's really, really tricky. So I tell people stay away unless you're really like got your own fulfillment center and you really know you're going to get the products out there in 2 days. But so there are other shipping options. The one that I'm using is FBA.
Okay, so the merchant fulfilled is when you ship your own product, then I would
Yes. So
assume.
the orders come through Amazon and you ship out the
And you
product.
ship out to them. Okay,
Mhm.
good. Wonderful. Now you talk about arbitrage.
Yes.
What is that?
So retail arbitrage is not an Amazon specific word. It's just what it is. And basically it's when you buy at a regular retail, well, not necessarily regular retail price, but you'll buy at a clearance price or a Dollar Tree price. You'll buy at a lower price, and then you turn around and you resell it online.
Okay.
Amazon kind of made it a thing. Amazon and eBay, a lot of times when people are reselling products, they're doing retail arbitrage, which really means they're out there scouring the streets for
Right.
products, and then they're selling them on like an Amazon. And it's funny because a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't someone else just go out and buy the products themselves? Why do they need me? Or why would they buy products that I could find? And I was the exact same way. And it wasn't until listening to Pat Flynn's episode and kind of going out there and doing it myself, I realized that there are places that can't get the amount of products that you or I could get depending on where you live. I live in the New York, New Jersey area. So we're filled with malls and filled with Targets and, literally like 3 or 4 Targets within 15 minutes of me. Someone in the Midwest may not have a Target for an hour from them. So if they see something that they want from Target that they can't get, or even, from Walmart, from anywhere that they can't get, they'll go on to Amazon and they would pay the premium price or they would pay the full price,
Right.
whatever it is. I've even found products in the Dollar Tree, right there in the Dollar Tree for $1
Yeah.
that you could go on Amazon and you can see it selling for $5 or $10. Like, one of the things, and I have a toddler, so if you have a toddler, you'll know these, like the little flashcards, like the little ABC flashcards or the little princess flashcards. Those things that you might find in your Dollar Tree for $1 could go for like 5 or 6 on Amazon.
Right.
And, of course, you got to look at the math of everything, how much it's going to cost to ship and all of that, but you can make $2 to $3. And if you send in 100 packs of these cards and now, $2 to $3 per card, now you're making $200 to $300. So, again, a lot more math behind it, but that's kind of how retail arbitrage works. You find a product and then you send it in and then you sell it and you resell it.
Okay, very good. So I also know that, well, I got a couple questions before I get to this next question that I had for you. Is there like a minimum quantity that you need to ship to Amazon? Does it matter how many you're shipping? Is there a number that says you cannot ship less than X amount?
No. So the good news is that there is not a minimum. The only thing is that you want to ship as much as possible because you want to fill a box, of course. You're paying to send in the box, so you want to have as much stuff out there as possible. Also, if you have a product that's flying off the shelves or the virtual shelves, you want to make sure that it's got a little bit in there to replenish. With my own products, I actually sell out of them quite frequently, which Amazon hates. So try not to do that. And so if it's your own product and now your listing will go inactive until a new thing comes in, that's really a big deal. You don't want to do that. If it's an arbitrage, if your shipment runs out, then the next person's shipment will now take over. And now you got to wait for that to be done, or you got to do a little price war thing. So you really want to send in more than just 1 or 2 items, but you absolutely can. Like I said, I've gone to the Dollar Tree and just racked up like, 2 or 3 things here, 3 or 4 things there, put as many as possible in the box. The other thing to consider is that once you tell Amazon what you're going to send in, they tell you what fulfillment centers you're going to ship it to. It may not all be the same fulfillment center. So you could send 10 items to one and 2 items to another and 4 items to the one in, down in Texas. So you want to make sure, again, you're able to fill a box. You want to make sure you have enough in there that you're actually shipping some stuff out. I like to at least do 20 to 30 items. The other thing is once you do more items on the converse, they'll let you send in 1 or 2, but once you start doing like 50 or 60, like a lot more items, then they may actually get a retailer's or reseller's account. And that's like, I think 30 or 40 bucks a month it used to be. And so you get that account and then you can continue to kind of do that. So depending on your volumes is really how much it's going to cost you.
Okay, I see that and how that works. Now, you did mention something about having your supplies and then them selling yours until it runs out. So that gave me the idea that what happens is that you have a box, they will sell your box first before they start another box. Is that how that works? And then if that's the case, how do they determine whose is next if there's like 100 of them?
Well, it really all depends. So it depends on pricing. And it depends on location and, of course, the product. So if it's like my product, then, of course, they can only sell mine. And then once mine is done, it's done. If it's a product that you're doing arbitrage, or if it's a product that just is the same as something else, maybe you might have the same Chinese manufacturer
Right.
and you have the same thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Then the person can lower their price, and literally they can lower it by like 5 cents. And now they'll be kind of up first. And you'll see it. If you ever go on Amazon, you see sold by some company name, fulfilled by Amazon.
Yes.
That's how you know it's somebody that's a merchant, that's doing the arbitrage thing. And literally it just keeps pulling from, they look at the based on where the person is. So I'm in New Jersey. If there's a fulfillment center in New York that has company A's stuff, and it's at the same price, then they're going to send me whatever's New York from company A. If there's somebody in California and this fulfillment center in California has company B stuff at the same price, then they're going to send company B. Now, if company B lowers their price by 5 cents, they're going to get the orders for New York and for California, just because, again, they're going to go for that lowest price.
Got it.
Depending on the items, and there's a way to tell what items are flying off the shelves and what items aren't flying off the shelves. Usually a lot of good seasonal things are good. I did really well with cartoon character related things. So like I said, the little Disney princess cards, especially if something new was coming out, like when the Minions movie was coming out, they had a bunch of stuff at Five Below, and I just went and got a whole bunch of Minion stuff. And, sent that all in, because those are the things that are going to go fast. So even if your price is a little bit higher, the lower price is going to sell out, and then they're going to go to the next price up and next price up. That's one of the reasons why, as a consumer, we see Amazon's prices going like this. It's because of the supply of what people have sent in that now the price is going up or down if Amazon isn't, fulfilling it themselves. If they're depending on the merchants set their price. You can actually set a really, really high price. It's just lowers the chances of when it'll get sold, or if it'll get sold, because of course if the rush stops, then you're now stuck with a whole bunch of Minion stuff. So it's like I said, it's a lot of things underneath, like kind of the covers of it all, but there's definitely it definitely works. It's definitely something people can do.
I think this is an excellent overview, because we're not intending to go into any kind of details about this, just to give people an idea of how it works so they can make a choice for themselves what they want to do. Mm-hmm. The next question I have, though, relates to, and I think you kind of addressed it a little bit. Is there some kind of magic formula that people can use to figure out what products are going to sell?
Definitely. So there's a little number on, I'd really have to pull up an Amazon to show you guys, but there's a little number that shows its ranking, and the lower that number, and based on category, the lower that number tells you how fast it's being sold. So that's where the science and the math comes behind all this, is that, you want to know your category. You want to know what's a good number ranking for your category. There are actually apps that will help you determine, like one app, and I don't know if I even still have it on my phone, that you can scan. I'm actually looking at my phone for you guys. Sure. That you can scan an item like right there in the store, and it'll tell you what's the Amazon price, and it'll tell you what the ranking is looking like. It gives you all of this really good information for you. Let me just see.
Yeah, I've read some things on that while you do look for that, because I like to know what is out there since I'm actually um, coaching people in finding things that they love to do. And so I like to have my hands out there and my feelers out there, just kind of getting an idea about what opportunities are out there. Did you find it?
Amazon Seller is the one I did find, but there's another one that gives you a little bit more details, not by Amazon, but Amazon Seller is another really good app, and that's the one that's from Amazon, so you're getting Amazon's information. And like I said, it has the barcode, so if you're in a store, literally I would just be in a store like, do, 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 do. And because I knew my categories, like I said, I like to stick with things that are about like movies and characters. Keep character things go really, really fast.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I would, always try to focus on. One thing, I'm just going to kind of throw it out there in the middle of this, is that there are restricted categories or some categories that they put extra rules on. So one of those would be around the holidays. You have to have been selling before a certain time before you can send in toys. So I think it's like September, October is the date. They send out a notice every year, make sure you're sold this amount by this time, or you can't do toys for the holidays, because they don't want people sending in the wrong things. They don't want inconsistent sellers. They're really, really big on reviews, making sure people get the products that they say that they're getting, make sure they're in good condition. So they put a lot of constraints on people around that time, because they know a lot of people want to jump on and do this type of thing at that time. So if you're going to sell for the holidays, now is a really good time to start getting your sellers count together, start sending in, even if it's just a couple of items, just trying to establish that account, establish yourself as a seller if you want to, gear for the holidays, which Black Friday is amazing for finding out. Because everything goes super, super cheap. You can get it super cheap, and then you could turn right around and resell it.
Yeah.
Even for like they just had Prime Day. You could actually
right.
You can actually buy stuff from Amazon and sell it back to them.
Yeah.
So all these little things that you can do makes it, as you can see how excited I am.
That's pretty cool. Nobody has an excuse to be stuck in a job they hate.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, and to not be able to make incomes. If you have a credit card, a lot of women, we love to shop. We like to go get jewelry and shoes and handbags and all of that stuff. How about go invest in something maybe at the Dollar Tree and sell it on Amazon, right?
And that's actually one of the other categories that's restricted, but it's not that hard to get into: clothing, jewelry, and like handbags and stuff like that, which is another category that Amazon is growing in. So while you're shopping for your handbags and your jewelry and stuff, and you know how you see that really cute bag on sale and you're like, I don't need another bag. You don't, but Amazon might. So you see that good clearance bag, at Nordstrom's or Macy's, like those are things you can pick up and then send into Amazon. You just have to get, like I said, you want to make sure you get approved for those categories first. But once you're in the flow of doing that type of stuff, you absolutely can.
So how do people get approval? Is that a long process to describe? Because we don't want to go through it if it is.
Yeah, well, no, you have, okay, so to get the initial approval to just be a seller is pretty quick. You fill out an application, you download their, the Amazon Seller app, you get their Amazon Seller account, and that's pretty quick. I think now you need an EIN. When I first started, you didn't even need an EIN for it.
And that's pretty easy too. You can get that immediately online.
Yeah, and if you already have a business, then you definitely just use your EIN. You've got a business.
Right.
So, becoming a seller is really, really pretty easy. The restricted categories, they each have their own set of rules and their own set of restrictions. Sometimes they'll say, like for jewelry, no new sellers for a couple of months, and then they'll hold it for a couple of months, which is okay because you can still sell other stuff. It's like you can sell anything except for these categories, and as you get into those categories, now you can sell anything plus these categories. So like I said, it's worth it to get that started while you're doing other things. So you can, play with the cartoon characters and do the Disney princesses, and then, one day you get approved for clothing, and now you're in. So, as like I said, as you're already approved for selling, you can continue to grow in these other areas. And depending on their rules for the specific area, it could take a couple of months at least.
All right. So that's really, really great information. I mean, completely awesome. Now, I was doing, years ago, I was doing some research, probably about 2 years ago, when I was looking into all this online marketing stuff. And one thing I had read about people having stuff shipped from China to Amazon. So they don't even get involved with the shipment. Are you familiar with that process at all? What it is, maybe a little summary of what that looks like. It looks like they paid the merchants in China to manufacture whatever the products were, and then those products were shipped. Now, initially, I thought that was the way that it works, because you'd have to have a good investment to get those things manufactured and shipped. Mm-hmm. But now with what you're sharing, it doesn't seem like it has to be all that expensive. Like nobody has an excuse not to even do something to make a little extra income around their homes. Yeah. So are you familiar with that process though?
I am a little bit. So that's very similar to what I do with my cards, where that is now your own products portion of being on Amazon. And most people, when they're doing that, they're making they're entirely new products. They're not getting a product that already exists, and they're not going for a UPC that's already out there. So in order to get your own product on Amazon, it's really not much different. You've already got your seller's account, because we've established that. And you don't, and again, unless it's one of those restricted categories, you're fine. So like for my cards, it's not restricted category. I never had to worry about getting into a new category or anything. I had to get a UPC number, and that's just like the barcode you see right in the grocery store. You can actually buy those barcodes. And you have to have your, like, you buy a list of barcodes. I think I bought like 100. I literally only used one. But they're super cheap. Like maybe cost like $10. It was super
really cheap. For the 100?
Yeah, it's not a lot to get the codes. And it's something you can go right on Amazon and look up like how to get the codes and how to step through the process. And there's lots of information out there on how to do this. But so you get the code, you create a listing. So you just create whatever your name is, whatever your description is, your photos, they like photos with white backgrounds, and you get the number and everything, and it creates what's a new listing. Now that listing will remain on hold until they have inventory. So that's where the shipping from China comes in. So what most people do before they even start that process is that they will decide they want to make a new phone case, for example. So I'm going to make a new phone case, and they will go out to different manufacturers in China, and there's listings of different manufacturers you can work with. Alibaba is another, Alibaba and AliExpress. Those are two companies a lot of people use, and they can either just use something that they already have. So maybe you go on Alibaba and they already got this like blue, iPhone case. Or you can say, well, I want this blue iPhone case to be red. And you can talk to the manufacturer and say, red's a hotter color and that's what people want. Can you make me one of these in red? So once they do that, you can get a sample. That's what most people get, a couple of samples. And I say, if you're going to go out to China, get a couple of samples at one time, because every time is going to be a couple of weeks delay. So you get one and you hate it, then now you're going to have to turn around and get another one and get another one. So try at least to find like 3 or 4 manufacturers, get 3 or 4 samples, choose the one you like the most, and that's what you would use. So you use that prototype to take your pictures, and then you place your order. And
got it.
Again, a couple of months, depending on, there's a lot of different nuances. So depending on their manufacturing time, shipping time, it has to clear through customs, whether or not you're going to ship via air or via sea. Sea is, of course, cheaper.
But it takes longer. Right?
But yes, much longer. So I'm just giving you guys things to think about in terms of your timeline. So if you want to get something in by Christmas, start now.
Yeah. Start now, right?
Start now, yeah. Chinese New Year, literally factories shut down for New Year. So, all those kind of things to consider. You just you send in whatever your product wants to be. You can either work with them to have them put all the Amazon labels on and send it to Amazon, or you can have them ship it to you and then you ship it to Amazon.
Yeah.
I would recommend your first shipment.
Yeah.
Do a huge one, so don't do thousands.
Yeah.
Do whatever their very minimal is, even if you have to pay a little bit extra, because of course you want to make sure the product is actually going to move, and have it shipped to you first so that you can be secure with the way they're packaging it. You can be okay with the way that they're, if you're going to put your company name on it, whether that's represented, you can be just okay with everything about the shipment. And the reason why I say this is because, back to my other statement, that Amazon is really, really stringent on customer service.
Absolutely.
if your products keep showing up to people and they're broke, or the packaging is incorrect, or it's misrepresented, so like if it said it was red but it's really burgundy or pink, if that type of stuff continues to happen, then that's going to hurt your sellers rankings, and you're going to be pushed further and further and further down the list. So when you're sending in products, at least, especially like I said, for the first, maybe the second time, do the little extra step of sending it in yourself and making sure that it's exactly what you want to go in and what you would want to go out to the customer. Because all Amazon sees is, here's a box, like literally, to you guys example, my box, they give me a little barcode on the back. This is a white back, so don't worry. They would give me a little barcode sticker. I put that here. I make sure that this is all sealed and secure, send it in. When somebody orders, their robots just scan and send, like, well, if they pack it, scan and send. They don't ever actually look at my product. So if there were only 9 cards in here, I would get a bad review and it would just zing me. If these cards were all chewed up and eaten, like we've all got like something from Amazon that looked a little eaten. That's how it
yet.
Okay, well, I order as much as I sell. So
I love Amazon.
That were like, really? Where did this come from? And if that happens, like I said, you get negative reviews and it can really hurt your business. Sure, you stay in Amazon's good graces and they always side with the customer. So do whatever you can to stay in their good graces. So you would send in your products, Amazon would take them, and then Amazon would start to sell them. Once you're secure with the whole process, then you can have the company, whatever the company is, send it right into Amazon. But you'd have to tell Amazon in advance, okay, I'm going to send 100 items, and Amazon's going to do what I just said earlier, that they're going to tell you, okay, 20 go to Texas and 30 go to Illinois. So you got to make sure when your company is shipping them that they're willing to break them up and they're willing to ship to all those different locations. So just logistics that you have to work out.
Wonderful. This is just completely eye-opening information. Despite the fact that I had read on it, I didn't have all of these little nuances that you just made very clear to our listeners. And I'm going to invite people to like type their questions down below, and would you mind that I forward them to you, because I'm not the expert, but certainly would you mind that I forward them to you so that you could follow up if there are any questions?
Yes, definitely. And I'll hang out on your page, so I'll hang out on your page around that time, and if there are questions, I will type away in there. So definitely ask away, guys, ask away.
Awesome. So I also know now that you do some traffic information, and traffic is really key for anybody who wants to do any kind of online marketing. And being an internet marketer, then being a coach with online presence and my online courses, and even people who are doing products online, whether it's someone else's products, they want to drive traffic to their blog or their website or whatever. You've got a little gift there that I know you want to offer, and I'll drop the link on the page as well. But would you mind, because I'm going to also make this into an audio file, and people may not have access to the website. So would you tell people where they can actually go to get this free download from you, and tell them what it is?
Okay, so I put together a PDF of my top 5 traffic driving strategies. I help, like Dr. Gwen said, I help online retailers. I help people to get traffic to their sites. And this could be traffic to your Amazon listing. This could be traffic to your website. This could be traffic to your Facebook page. A lot of these strategies will help with all of them. So I have this download for you guys. If you go to onlineboutiquesource.com/get traffic, all one word, and that's where you'll be able to get this download, and you can see my top 5 traffic driving strategies that I do almost every day to help bring, right now I'm getting about 12,000 hits per month to my site, so that's what I use. People always want to know, how do you get traffic? How do you get people? And that's exactly what I do to get people. So I put it together in a PDF, and you guys can go to onlineboutiquesource.com/get traffic and download that download.
So you said it is online boutique stores?
Source, S-O-U-R-C-E.
Okay, so I want to spell it just in case anyone may. Would you please?
Yes, okay. So it's O-N-L-I-N-E BOUTIQUE@SOURCE.com/GETTRAFFIC.
Okay, so that's Get Traffic.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So once again, for those of you who are listening, it's online boutique source.com /get traffic. And I will drop that link right on this page so that you can go there and get the information from Akila. Akila, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Anything else, if you were to leave one tip for anyone who wants to make online income using this particular strategy, what would be that one tip that you would leave, or that one advice or one bit of information?
My big tip for anyone is get started, always. Don't stop, don't wait, just do it, especially with something like this. It's so low barrier to entry that you can start by sending in 1 or 2 products just to see how it goes and go out there and find a whole bunch of information. The second thing for this particular strategy, I would say download that Amazon Sellers app that I told you guys, and next time you're out shopping, go to the clearance section and just start scanning some things. You'll be surprised at the things that are going full price that may be on the clearance in, like I said, in your Target or your Walmart, in your Walgreens, just wherever you are. I was surprised when I first got it started. I was like, well, this isn't going to work. But I did it. I went and got started. I just took some items. I looked up their prices on Amazon and saw how much more they were going for and was like, wow, this could really do something for me. So that's what I'm going to say. Get started. And if you don't believe it can work for you, just scan a few prices.
Yeah, and I know I said we were coming to an end, but a question popped in, and I'm sure some people are asking it in their heads. Mm-hmm. It's something that I personally would like to know. So when you buy these little projects, these little products, and you sell them, are you guaranteed to make a sale, or is it possible that it doesn't sell and they send it back to you? How does that work?
That's a good question. So no, you're not guaranteed to make a sale. So that's why you want to make sure you're in a good category, and you want to know the rankings for the particular item. And like I said, I like to go with the things that are like hot items, trendy items for right now. But you do, and I can tell you the danger with that is you do have to get on trend. There are some people who like to go with, it's clothing or shoes or books. I know all kinds of different people who do this, who like you find a specialty that you kind of like that moves for
That's
you.
Right.
And that you can find products for easy too. So so that's a really good question. No, you aren't guaranteed a sale, but there are ways to make sure that you can get a sale a little bit faster and a little bit quicker. The other thing is, if you don't sell, you have 2 options. They can send it back to you. They do charge you to send it back to you, or they can destroy it for you. And you'll lose the item, and I think there's a destruction fee still. And if it stays there for too long, like over 6 months, they actually start charging you to store it for you too. So you have to kind of make that decision. I can tell you guys that the number of items that I've had that happen to has been really, really minimal in my time of selling on Amazon. And this is over a couple of years, that it's been really minimal. Once you start, just like I said, do some research, do some Googling, determine what the rankings are for the different category. Find a category. You'll see categories that people say are safer. Toys are safer. Toys are moved very quickly, which is why they restrict them for the holidays. But now's a good time to try them out in like the July, August, even into September time frame, just because that's when, people like toys, and people are always shopping for toys for their kids. And the other thing you can do to help move it is lower the price. So that's the other thing, you can make the price dirt cheap, and or even down to, you're not going to make a profit, but at least you won't lose anything either. So it's a business, so there are some risks. But if you kind of work the whole system, you can even out those risks.
Oh, yes. Awesome. Completely awesome. Akila, I keep wanting to mess up your name. Pardon me. Thank you so incredibly much for joining me today on this live cast. And I am sure that everyone who is tuned in has gotten complete value. I know I've learned a few things myself. Yay. And once again, folks, if you want to get access to the information for the traffic, please go to onlineboutiquesource.com/get-traffic.
Yes.
Thanks, Akila. Thanks, everyone. This is Dr. Gwen and Akila.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Love you guys.